Hi there, it's Rachel Gregg and welcome to my YouTube channel. In today's video I'm going to be sharing with you day 21 to day 26 of my December daily journal for 2021. So I've shared the other days before this in several different videos on my YouTube channel, just showing you how I've set up this little album or journal and how I've decorated the pages. And in today's video I'm showing you days 21 through to days 26. And which will be the last segment that I'm showing you or, sharing with you on how I've created each one of these pages. So this page here, this one's day 21. And this one here is all about Yule or Yuletide and the winter solstice. Our family name is Yule, so we always find it really fascinating this time of year in December, where all of these Yule festivities happen, especially in the northern hemisphere, because it is the winter solstice, whereas I live down in the southern hemisphere in Australia, so for us it's the summer solstice. So our Yule is actually effectively in June 21st. We still love the Yule festivities that happen this time of year. So that page there was just all about the Yuletide and the Yule season, and I just found that nice image which was explaining that and what it means, and so I just put that inside that book. So for this page here, what I'm creating is I've just done like a paint swash for the background, just giving it a little bit of color, just using some Dylusions paint, and then I've decorated a tag. So this tag here just shows a photo of a gingerbread star tree that my daughter Zoe created for Christmas. And now what I'm doing is punching out one of the round tag images from the Kitchen stamp set. So it's a stamp set from Darkroom Door that I've designed called From the Kitchen. And this little circle label is really great for labeling handmade goods, but I'm also using this little circle here for the journal. And now what I want to do is some journaling for the left-hand side, and I'm using the journal stamp set. And so this is a stamp set that has 4 different journaling blocks on it that you can use for your own journaling. So I'm just using the 2 portrait style ones, the ones that are portrait orientation. There's another 2 that are landscape orientation. And these 2 have little flowers on them, so it just makes it a nice little journaling block. So I've stamped those out just using Archival jet black ink and done my journaling using the green letterette pen. And now I just want to embellish around it with a little heart stamp. So I'm just going to stamp a couple of little red hearts just to finish off this little journal page. And the red ink ties in really well with the red behind the star gingerbread Christmas tree. And now what I'm doing is creating the date. So I've just used the Alphabet Medley stamp set to stamp out the 22, and then the diary date stamp to stamp the day. And I just had to move around the day there just on the acrylic block just so it wouldn't get stuck in the join of the journal. Okay, so for this page here, I've just stuck down a image of our Christmas tree, and then I've also found this embossed Seasons Greetings. And this is from the Seasons Greetings stamp set, where it's got several different Christmas greetings on there that you can use. I'm actually using the Seasons Greetings one, and it was gold embossed, so it's a really nice shimmery kind of look to it. And what I'm doing now is just trying to figure out how I'm going to create an interactive flap. So rather than just having that small little flap, I want to create a few little different interactive tip-ins and flaps for this page, because this is now we're coming up to Christmas here, so it's day 23 and day 24, so things are starting to get a little bit busier around our house for Christmas. And we actually celebrated Christmas in our house on the 24th, which is this page here that I'm doing. And I've just had a photo here of just us around the dinner table and just sticking it down here on the back of the tag. So this tag here, it was just decorated using distress inks, and so it was just one that I already had pre-decorated in my stash. So it's nice to have a few little things like that. It makes it a lot quicker when you're doing journaling like this every day, just to have some pre-done things. So just make sure you always hold on to any little pre-done tags or things that you've had left over from other projects. So the background I did for these 2 pages was just some distress ink. So I'd already done that layer of distress ink, and then after it, when I had the mesh stencil, so that was the large mesh stencil, it'll be in one of the previous videos from this year's December daily, where I just used it to sponge over some forest moss distress ink. I'm pretty sure that was the color that I've used. and just adds another layer to that background. And now what I'm doing is sticking in some of my watercolor pieces. So these were the watercolor pieces that I created from one of Jenna Rainey's videos. This was a little demonstration that she did on that with the little trees and the Christmas lights. So that was just a nice little addition to the bottom of that tag. And now what I'm doing is adding the date up there to the Thursday 23rd, just using the Lots of Labels stamp set and the Everyday Life stamp set, which had the Thursday in it and then numbers from the alphabet medley. And for the next day, which is the 24th, I'm using the big numbers because I wanted it to be a bit bolder, especially over the top of that mesh stenciling. And I'm using a darker green this time, so I'm using the library green Archival ink, which is a really nice deep green. And then that page is now ready for adding my journaling. So my next page here, it was blank to start with, and I wanted to add a little bit of colour, so I pulled out the Distress inks again, and just using a little non-stick craft sheet, adding a little bit of water. Now I'm not adding a great deal of water because I don't want it to buckle the pages too much, which kind of makes the distressing a little bit streaky for the background. Normally I would add a lot more water to make it a more fluid background if I was actually doing it for a full card or some other project, but I didn't want to add too much water into this journal. So you'll see those little streaky parts, which I think is quite fun. A lot of it's going to be covered anyway, as you can see here when I'm adding in this photo. And because Christmas here is in our summer months in Australia, we often go to the beach. So this is just a photo here of my kids at the beach, and we found some cool Yule t-shirts that they were wearing, which was really fun, especially because their surname is Yule. So we had them on at the beach with their little Santa hats, which I think is a fun little summery Christmas day. And more watercolor pieces. I've got the ho 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 and the Christmas tree, and then this one here is the stockings that I've done, and I'm adding these here to the journal page. And I'm using Glossy Accents because the watercolor paper is quite thick. It's like a 300 GSM watercolor paper, so it needs a fairly decent adhesive or a strong adhesive to keep that stuck down, and Glossy Accents is a great adhesive to do that. Next up, I'm using the Dear Santa stamp set from Darkroom Door, and I just want to stamp the little 25th of December because on this journal page it is the 25th of December. And I just used the Dylusions Cutting Mat. I wanted it to stamp nicely or correctly, and because there's so much bulk in the journal now, I wanted to make sure that I had a flat surface, and that little cutting mat just gives a little flat thing underneath that page, so it just makes your stamping a lot neater. And now I'm just adding some little stars from the Stitched Christmas stamp set just to fill in any little gaps around the journaling, and it just makes a really festive journal page. So our last page here that I'm sharing in this video is December 26th, and this is Boxing Day in Australia, and it's also the start of the Sydney to Hobart race. And this year my brother Daryl was going in the race with his mate Kev on a boat called Rogue Wave, and this is a photograph that my brother Pete took of them just before they set sail on that day. So I just used this journal page to journal about their trip and how they started in Sydney to Hobart. So for this one here, I've just added some stamps from the Sail Away stamp set just to give it that nice sort of nautical theme for this day, even though it's still got the red and green paint that was done when I was setting up this journal. So it's got that festive look, but also the nautical theme, which goes really well with the theme of this day. And I'm just using the red letterette pen just to outline around some of these photos. It just gives a nice little edge to it without having to actually put a border on these photos. It just finishes it off. It just gives a nice little finishing touch. So here's a look at my finished pages. I hope you've really enjoyed what I've shared for December Daily, and I hope it's given you some ideas on how you can journal your December for this year or any future year that you may be watching. If you'd like to see any of the other videos that I've shared, hop over to my YouTube channel where you can see a December Daily playlist and watch all of the other pages that I've been sharing. Thanks so much for watching.